10xing your goals creates massive clarity. Why? Because there's infinite possibility on things you need to do and to move the needle to have a 2x life, but there's only a few things that you and I can do to move the needle to have a 10x life. So your mental clarity becomes that much sharper, and you find the couple things that would actually really potentially get you there, and you focus on that. And what's an income goal that you have for your business right now?
Right now, starting out, my goal is to make 6 figures next
How much are
year.
you making right now?
I would say like $100.
$100. Okay, cool. So watch this. Watch this. If I told Aaron that he needed to make $1,000 in his business over the next month, we would all create a lot of possibilities for him, wouldn't we? We could all throw tons of just random ideas, right? Dozens, Aaron, hundreds. But if I told you to 10x that goal and to get a 10K month next month in November, we could only be focusing on a few things. 10xing your goals creates massive clarity. Why? Because there's infinite possibility on things you need to do and to move the needle to have a 2x life, but there's only a few things that you and I can do to move the needle to have a 10x life. So your mental clarity becomes that much sharper, because you would all of a sudden, if we had an idea that it's like reach out to an influencer, I'm just throwing this as an example. I know you mentioned it before, so I'm throwing it. It's like, okay, that works for $1,000, but that's not sustainable for 10. You cross it off of your idea list. You're like, we're not doing that. And you find the couple things that would actually really potentially get you there, and you focus on that. So same with quitting porn. This is what I shared with that guy whose wife had left him. I said, dude, you're doing so many things. 80% of your effort is creating 20% result, where you're slipping up only every couple of weeks now. And I said, you're wasting so much energy. Why don't we try to find a way to help you quit permanently forever, even in the next 30 days? Why? Because the steps that you will take to get that result is different, better, right? It's actually easier to 10x your goals for your life than it is to 2x, because 2x requires a lot of effort and force and doubling down your time. You're like, hey, I got it. Instead of working 40 hours, I got to work 80 hours a week now. And you make it all on you and what you can do. But if you 10x the vision you have for your life, this is where you actually need to trust grace. This is where you're like, okay, these belief systems now no longer serve me. I actually need to raise the standard. Many of you would be like, all right, I'm absolutely done with porn. It's a standard that I don't go to that. I can cope in other ways. I can double down time on my business, go to the gym, work out, whatever. It's a non-negotiable. I don't go there now. You would elevate your standards because you elevate your identity. Because we never get what we want. We get who we are. Again, a little play on words may sound like a speech, just sounds like it's repeated from Chat GPT or somewhere else online. But this is one of the reasons that I feel it's very difficult for so many Christians to quit porn, because they're not fathoming a life where it's permanently eradicated. They're creating a life of tolerance, low standards that are just high enough that it's encouraging for them, but just low enough that they kind of dangle and ebb and flow in and out of this place of victory. Not because victory is not possible, but because their goal is way too low. We're not after sin management, we're after sin annihilation. You need to live as though it's fully possible for you to break free from all sin. If not, you will continue to sin by faith. I know things only get quiet at the dinner table when people are eating a really good meal. So I'm going to just assume that's what we're doing right now. We're just chewing on it. If you had a 10x goal for your life, each of you individually, I bet you would start cutting out a lot of crap. That's just a waste of your time. Playing video games, watching movies, maybe hanging out with certain people that there's tolerance to, where your energy would go, your focus. Would you agree that it's better to aim high and miss than aim low and hit? I mean, it fully depends what you're wanting to move towards, you know? It really does depend on the context, but who says that quote? I forget who it is. Shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. It's that kind of thing. Because in order for you to get to where you want to go, you have to be willing to abandon who you were. Dude, Jesus did that over and over and over again. He kept shedding his identity to reinforce an even greater one and see it exposed and revealed constantly. You can even see it in the Garden of Gethsemane where he's praying. He's like, I don't want to go to the cross and die. But he's 10xing his standard, his goal, his dream, not my will, but yours be done, because he knew what was going to be coming. He had to yield his psychology, his mindsets, and submit it, not through brute force and will. It's why it said that Jesus had to go often to desolate places to pray. They tried to crown him king and he had to leave. And then he had to go to another town across the river or the sea, because it almost felt like, as you read the context of the scripture, that Jesus was almost getting wrapped in like, oh yeah, shoot, I forgot why I'm here. He had to go back and kind of remember what the big 10x version for himself was. But when you have that type of vision, you will have those type of standards, and you'll never ever get your goals ever. But you absolutely, positively, unconditionally will always get your standards. So I guess the question is, yeah, what are your standards? What are your tolerances? It might be worthwhile, guys, for you to see how soon you will be from quitting porn when you see what you tolerate. Okay, I tolerate running away. I tolerate just escaping and numbing and not inquiring. Again, it doesn't mean you don't have overwhelm, insecurity, indecision, fear, anxiety, apprehension. It just means those things don't dominate you. You set the course on them. But this is one of the reasons, like, for example, on a 10x, this is exactly why I believe why we've had so much success for the men we've served inside of this program, because everyone else is trying to 2x. And I'm saying that if you focus on becoming emotionally healthy and holistically getting connected to who you authentically are in God and working through all your pain, trauma, and shame, the root of the problem, here is where you quit porn, and here is your goal. You will pass it in the process. But like Celebrate Recovery, all these groups, Every Man's Battle, Unwanted, books, da-da-da-da-da. Like, Henry, you learned more from that spiritually bypassing video than most Christians learn in a lifetime of understanding how to navigate their emotions with the Lord. Again, not because I'm special, I have something that's so cutting edge, but it's just not what people share, because not everyone's going after having a 10x life. They're not getting the bigger goal. You should not want to be here to quit porn. You should be here because you want to live a life on fire, an incredible life in every sense of the word. And we hope to want to get you there, not just with behaviors, but raising the bar on your standards. Hopefully that makes sense. Is this landing? Is this resonating? And if so, how? And if not, why? And if you have any questions, please shoot them my way.